Volume 1 Chapter 6 Section 1.
There are 6 stats you can enhance. From my understanding, intelligence is correlated with memory and your ability to think. Mental capacity is unknown at the moment, because there's no way to test it. Cell vitality affects your recovery rate. Reaction speed and muscle density are obvious and they're the most useful stats for us. Reaction speed allows you to see objects moving at high speed, and when you reach a certain level, you can even see the trajectory of bullets. Of course your body has to move fast enough, that's what muscle density is for. It increases your strength and toughness. Immunization strength is also an important factor. If your immunization is strong enough during Resident Evil, you wouldn't get infected. That's all for enhancements. We will continue with exchangeable items. I will advise you to not exchange any items and spend all your points in cell vitality, reaction speed, muscle density, and immunization strength, with the focus on reaction speed and muscle density. Otherwise you won't even be able to keep up with the running.
Then Zhai turned to Zheng.
Since you have enough rewards, you should just go for a genetic and whole body enhancement. But what you want is up to you. Then spend the remaining points on stats and some weapons. You will be the strongest one among us in the next movie, so you should probably also get a magical item.
Zheng nodded.
That's what I am thinking. Out of all the horror movies I have seen, supernaturals like The Grudge are the most dangerous. Your first one, Nightmare on Elm Street, is the same. So I am planning on getting a weapon that can kill these type of monsters. Though it might be rather expensive.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's go check them out, then I will have Nana make you a big meal.
The four walked toward the sphere with excitement. Especially since it's the first time for 3 of them. They were going to surpass normal people from now on. Zheng stood under God, then closed his eyes. He experienced that feeling of being connected to God again.
First take a look at genetic and body enhancement.
The screen focused on support items category, then listed all the possible enhancements. He filtered all of them and only looked at rank B and C enhancements. Even then the number was still in double digits.
Spider-Man genetic mutation, rating 83, applicable to movies that require high dexterity. Web shooter can be used in any circumstances. Requires a rank B reward and 2000 points. High level chi, rating 87, applicable to movies that require close combat. Can buff stats substantially in short period of time. Requires rank B reward, 2500 points, and intermediate level chi. High level werewolf genetic mutation, rating 88, applicable to most movies. Has the ability to transform into a werewolf, increasing stats substantially temporarily. Owner will not be affected by the instincts of werewolf bloodline. Requires rank B reward, 2700 points, and entry-level werewolf mutation. Vampire count, rank, genetic mutation, rating 90, applicable to most movies. Has blood energy and access to most blood magic. Rank count increases vitality substantially, can recover from any injury as long as brain and heart are not destroyed. Owner will not be affected by sunlight and silver. Requires rank B reward, 3000 points, and vampire viscount mutation.
As Zheng was looking, a thought came to his mind, then he flipped to the rank enhancements list. And that there were, top level chi, werewolf mutation, and vampire mutation. These all required their rank B counterparts.
God, I have a question. Can I choose 2 bloodlines or genetic mutations at the same time?
Yes. But it will have an unpredictable result. The different genetics could absorb or proliferate each other. You have a 70% chance of becoming a non-human being.
That probably means monster.
Zheng nodded as he made his decision. He separated the rank B reward to 3 rank C rewards. Then one of the rank C into 3 rank DS. He exchanged for rank D low-level chi, and rank D vampire baron. Then their rank C counterparts. All he had left is a rank D reward.
Low-level Chi costs 500 points, Vampire Baron costs 800, Intermediate Chi 1200, Vampire Viscount 1500. Shit's too damn expensive.
Zheng counted. This had already used up 4,000 points. God forbid, he risked his life to complete a side quest for that. The other three people were looking at him in shock. A beam of light shone on Zheng, then lifted him to the air. Countless particles moved from the light to Zheng's body. This lasted several minutes. Jai suddenly yelled,
Honey, come look at Jesus.
Lan was acting better than the men. She asked Jai,
Are our enhancements going to be so dramatic?
No. When you enhance your stats, some particles will float from God into your body, then you will feel stronger. He probably exchanged something amazing.
Another few minutes passed and Zheng fell back to the ground. He gave the others a strange feeling. He was just slightly handsome before, but when they look at him now, he seemed a little strangely pretty. Zheng quickly looked at his stats. Intelligence 187, mental capacity 232, cell vitality 321, reaction speed 287, muscle density 302, immunization 331. These stats surprised him. It was only some low-level enhancements, but he was almost 3 times stronger than a normal person. Then he looked at his abilities. Chi and blood energy. Chi is a form of life force. It will recover naturally. As Chi increases, a person's stats increase. Blood energy is specific to vampires. It comes from a power core in the brain and allows vampires to use some blood magic. Zheng finally opened his eyes and saw them looking at him.
What's wrong? Did my face change?
He panicked a bit and touched his face. Then looked at his body. He was afraid genetic mutations would make him a monster. But nothing seemed too strange.
Why were you looking at me like that? Scared the shit out of me.
They laughed awkwardly.
How's it? Tell us what you chose and what are your stats.
I separated the rank B reward into rank C and D rewards. Then exchanged entry level and intermediate level Chi. And also exchanged vampire mutation.
Then he told them about his stats. The three were envious of that. Lan touched her head and said,
Do you think those immortal, ghost, vampires, werewolves and tales and legends are real? They were people that got away from this place. Perhaps this place existed since ancient times. Of course there were no horror movies back then, but there was still horror tales and stories.
Lan continued.
Because no matter if it was immortals or vampires or werewolves, the first generations were always the strongest. Perhaps the first gens were people that came from this place, but their descendants gradually became weaker because they lacked a source of power. Is this possible?
Zhao Yi asked.
Then what about this place? A place that can even give you the bloodline of God. Who could have created this place?
Lan waved her hand.
Perhaps the real God or some devil. Who knows? This whole place is a mystery. Oh Zheng, did you get any abilities?
Yeah, Chi and blood energy. But I still don't know how to use them yet. What about you guys? Did you get your enhancements yet?
Zhao Yi jumped 6 feet high. Then said with excitement,
I feel like my body's full of power. And I could see everything clearly. How are you feeling?
That said, Zheng felt his surrounding was crystal clear. He could even see scratches on the doors far away. Then he jumped 9 feet high.
Impressive.
Lan and Zhao Yi exclaimed. Jai laughed.
Great, hurry up and figure out your abilities. After all, they required several rewards. And look at sci-fi weapons. A rank D reward could get something nice. Your abilities cost to rank CS and DS. They must be strong.
Zheng connected with God again and focused on sci-fi weapons. It had everything from swords to RPGs and even lightsabers and plasma guns. He even saw a combat robot. It required 20,000 points and a rank reward. He turned to something more affordable and looked at modernized weapons. Guns were inexpensive, even an anti-air rocket launcher only cost 50 points. But the unlimited ammo counterpart cost 2,000 points. It was 40 times more. Then he looked at the magical items. He played enough games and could borrow info from those games. One-time use scrolls were inexpensive, only cost twice as much as a grenade. A lightning scroll cost 30 points, frostbolt 50. Most of the weapons were close combat weapons. A glowing sword cost 1,000. Zheng considered what weapon he wanted to use. As his stats increased, ranged weapons and sci-fi weapons would become less effective. Perhaps he will get to a point where he moves faster than a bullet, or so tough that even a bullet couldn't penetrate him. Or strong enough to kill someone with just a finger. Also, considering the fear he had of ghosts and supernaturals, he decided to choose a magical close combat weapon. As he was scrolling through the list, a ring caught his attention. It had the strange name Na. A ring created by cultivation technology. It had a subspace of 1.5 cubic meters and can be activated with Qi and other cultivation-related energy. Once activated, it could create an energy field around your fist. This energy field could damage supernatural beings. Zheng thought this item was totally made for him. Close combat, energy field, and it could be used with Qi. Another surprise was it had a subspace to store items. He could bring more food and medication to move these.
Alright then, that's it. Even though it's a little expensive.
1,500 points and a rank D reward. He almost used up all he had. When Zheng opened his eyes, a ring appeared in front of him, a bronze ring with a dragon carved on it. Jai asked curiously.
Something from entertainment category. Is this for that girl?
Zheng smiled, then without saying anything, he put on the ring. He felt energy move from his abdomen to his finger, and could sense the subspace on his mind. And this was also his first time sensing Qi.
Try and touch it.
Zheng held out his right hand with a smile. Jai moved his hand over, then quickly moved away as if he received an electrical shock.
Is this an electric shock ring?
Lan asked.
No, this is a cultivation item. Something created by the Chinese immortals, Xian. It has the name Na and can store 1.5 cubic meters of items, and can also attack supernaturals. In other words, we have something to deal with those movies. Haha.
They were looking at him with jealousy again. Zheng knew he obtained everything by luck and any person would be jealous of it. So he used the remaining 1,000 points for medications, antidotes and support items. This made the three of them feel better. Jai said,
Okay, bring your women and come eat in my house. My wife has executive chef level cooking. God is rather generous on food. You can create any food in the kitchen. Then you will start training with me.
Training?
Yes, training. Your stats can increase with training. From my observation, people in special forces can almost rival Zheng in stats. They're only missing special abilities. But their combat techniques and endurance are much more refined. Zheng may not win against them in a duel. I've been training during the resting sessions every time. You will also have to learn shooting and everything. I have a training ground in my basement. We will train hard for the next movie.
Not for the next movie. For staying alive.
Zheng told himself silently. He needed to live no matter what. And bring his woman back to the real world.